Hi everybody, this is Ellen. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make the Happy Pop Tart. I think it's adorable. It looks just like a Pop Tart to me. It's a little squishy. Of course, if you want to fill it, it'd be squishier, but it's a Pop Tart, so they're generally flat anyways. What I'm really excited about with this is that this is the kind of the outside when we loom our things and they grow up. And if you usually remember, although I don't know if this guy's out or not, when you switch between colors you have this kind of line of the transition. I managed to get rid of that, so you can't see that anymore. I also cleaned up the edges so that when normally when you flip them over you'd have a color over kind of off to the side, like the white would be over here a little bit and there'd be a little brown in the middle. I got rid of that as well, and I fixed that. Because normally to get the clean edges it's something that you would have to flip inside out like we did with the watermelon. But I figured out how to do it without doing that, so that'll be, hopefully it won't be too hard to follow. It's not super difficult, just using the bands differently, so pretty excited that I was able to get rid of that and have it still be a looming up thing, and which is easier of course for everybody if you don't have the rainbow loom to take apart. So we'll get started. We have a couple things to go through, of course. In total for bands, it's right around 286 for the main parts, the Pop-Tart itself and then the face color. And then of course if you want the sprinkles, there's 7 on here, but you can add as many as you want on there. And I'll show you how to make those. And then you'd have if you had pony beads for the eyes, I use 7mm pony beads. Otherwise you can use wrapped bands, and I'll show you how to do that. And then there's the cheeks and the mouth. So that's a little bit more, a little under 300 probably in total for this guy. But it's worth it because it's cute. For band color on this one I used the caramel from Rainbow Loom. I think it turned out pretty good. It's just like, consider it a very toasted Pop-Tart. And I did dig through, which I don't normally do, all the skin tone bands and found the kind of tan ones, which I'm going to use in the tutorial. So that was, I really don't like sorting bands, but just for you guys. I know that there are other companies like Loom bands. They have a light coffee color that would work for this. It's the same one I used in like my 3D donut. So, but color-wise, but of course you can make it any color you want. Excuse me, losing my voice still. But we'll just, any color you like, never have to follow my same colors. So, to make the eyes, you can either use wrapped bands for the eyes, or you can use the pony bead. So if you want to make a wrapped band for the eye, it's 1 band on your hook, wrap it around into a figure 8, grab both sides, wrap it around again, and then whatever color you're going to make the inside of your Pop-Tart, take 2 bands and pull it through. So that would be a wrapped eye band. You'd have to make 2 of those. Then if you're going to do a bead for the eye, you want a piece of wire, thread, floss, string, fishing line, anything that you can put into a V shape. 2 bands in the center. And then take your bead, thread both ends through, and pull it down, and then take this off. So then you have a beaded eye band, and you need 2 of those. Then of course the cheeks are made the exact same way as the eyes. Whatever color you want your cheek, 2 bands, or 1 band, wrap it around your hook, grab both, wrap it around again, and then 2 of your Pop-Tart color through. And you would need 2 of those. Then we have the sprinkles. I'm using these ones. So made the same way as the eyes and the cheeks. I made about 6 or 7 of them ahead of time. You can just make them as we go, it's up to you. But same thing, 1 band on the hook, wrap it around both, wrap it around again, and then pull through 2 bands that are your Pop-Tart color. So I will say that the sprinkles in kind of the center area, those are made this way. But if you want them on the edge, like I just threw a couple on there to see what it looked like. Not totally sure about it yet, but these are put on while they're on the loom. They can't be put on ahead of time, so I'll put a couple on just to show you so you can decide if you like them on there or not. But one loom, wrong side. So it's in the normal setup, but down here. I was going to say, I have a lot of people who keep asking me if I have a fake loom. I don't. It's a rainbow loom. The only difference is that a lot of times I don't put the base plate, the big one, on. And if you have one, please use it because it would make yours much more secure while we're doing a lot of the projects. The only reason why I don't put the big base plate on is because it's easier for you to see. Sometimes like using a blue color right over the top of the base plate might make it difficult to see, or things like that. So that's why I don't put the bottom base plate on. But they're real. Alright, so we need first our Pop-Tart color. And we're going to start, kind of skip this pin right here. Like don't start down here at the bottom, come up here. It's 2 bands. And we're just going to go a long cross like this. So don't start down here with a long cross, start up here. 2 more bands, cross over it. And 2 more bands, make another cross. Like that. Keep going with 2 bands. Almost everything is double banded in this, except for a few places, and I will be sure to point those out. And we're going to make 1 more cross. Like that. So you should have 4 little crosses. And you take 1 band, and we're going to put a cat band here and a cat band here. Just put it around, wrap it once. Same thing for the other side. And what we'll do is we're going to loom this out. And so if you look at the bands, how you put them on the loom, you might have them a little bit different than me, which isn't really a big deal, but this band right here is underneath this band. So I'm going to loop this side first, the one that's under. So go in through the cat band, pull that one up, and just kind of pull it back towards itself. Not kind of, but do it. And I usually just kind of wrap it around that pin. But you don't have to, you can go around it. But so once you've done that side, you come and do the other side. Like that. And again, this is my bottom band, so we'll start over here. And these like to come off, like if you just pull this up, this previous part will come off. So if you just kind of hold your finger in here, that usually will help avoid that. And then come and do the other side. And here's my bottom band. Onto this side. And this one over here. It is tight, but it's not like this for very long, so. And here's the last bottom band. And the other side. Like that. And then what we're going to do is just a row around with our Pop-Tart color. So, 2 bands, just start right here, and we're going to go around, and there's long stretches on the ends. So 2 bands up, and then long stretch against the back. And then down this way with 2 bands. And a long stretch down here. So like this. So now we're going to flip over the bottom bands. So there's 2 here, 4 here, 4 right here. So we're just leaving the top bands on that we just put on. Over here. And there. So you should have 4 bands left on every pin. So you can push those down. And now what we're going to do is, this side is going to be our face side. And what we're going to do is, to kind of make it easier between the transitions on the side, we're going to take these bands from this top corner and this one right here, and we're going to move them back. So you just take your hook, stick them in there, and put them on this pin. Which of course now it doesn't want to be easy. Like that. And then do the same thing down here. Yes, I know I could have started that way, but I really wanted to show the difference of this is coming to the back and this is in the front. So once you've moved that, we're going to do what I'm going to call the transition row. And what that amounts to is we're going to kind of manipulate the bands so that they are the right colors in the right spots. And how we're going to do that is our first one right here in this long stretch. I'll say that the transition row up here and down here, these are probably the most complicated right on the ends to do, but the rest of them are pretty easy. So what we need to do is we're going to take color of your Pop-Tart and the color of the inside of your Pop-Tart, and we need to connect them in a certain way so it'll look like this. If you've ever had the big jelly bracelets and you put them on so that you can put them on your wrist, it's the same process as that, but obviously this is kind of looks a little complicated when you're doing it, but I'm going to show you this way, then I'll show you how to do it on the loom, so you can do it either way. But if you just put one on top of the other, and then you just kind of, if I push this top blue band kind of back through the middle of the Pop-Tart band, bring the Pop-Tart band through the blue one, and then instead of like pulling tight to do a slip knot, I want to grab both sides so I have this. But if it's kind of confusing, I'll just do it on the loom as well. Just take them, put them like that in a row, go in and grab whatever band is on the bottom, pull it back towards itself, and then you go in through this little space right here and pull this band forward back towards itself. So we just did the same thing that I did on my fingers on the loom, like that. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to put it right here. Doesn't matter how you put it on right now, we'll turn it around so it fits where it's supposed to. So it's kind of a long stretch right there. So what we want for this row is for the Pop-Tart, the bread color, or the cookie part, I guess would be the better. We want that to be on the back side, towards the, when this is loomed up like this, we want it to be towards the inside. So I'm just going to turn this around until I get the color part in the front. Now this isn't going to be perfect and you'll have to do a little bit of adjusting at the end to tuck things in, but like right here you can see a little tiny bit of where they connected. But we can adjust those and hide them, so we want this to look like this. Color part of your Pop-Tart in the middle and then the cookie part towards the inside. So then what we need to do is take a band and put a cap band right here. Like that. And for this one, we're going to go in through the cap band, grab those bands that we just put on, and loom them towards themselves. So it looks like this now. The other ones are much easier, so I need to do this again down here for this particular row, so if you're not quite sure, didn't get it all here, you'll see it here again too. But we do need to make 2 more of my transition bands. So again, I'll show you on the loom, and then I will probably just do them on my fingers from now on because it's easier for me. But just put them on the loom, it doesn't really matter which one's on top, or which color is on top. But go in and grab the band that's on the bottom, pull it back towards itself. Then you go in through this little space right here, grab the other band, and pull it back like that. So we pull it off, and it looks like this. Now we'll just put it on the loom in the next spot with the Pop-Tart color outside and the cookie part inside. And we need another one just like that right here. So like that. And then we need another one right here that's kind of like down here. So you want to make the 2 colored band to put on. And then take a band, the cookie part color, make a cap band. Then you go in through the cap band and loom it back towards this pin. So like that. Now, the last bands on the back are just going to be 2 bands all the way around to the beginning. Like that. So then we will loom these out. So 4 bands here. I believe it's 4 bands all the way around. And 4 bands on the end. And then right here, just take those bottom ones and flip them over. Like that. Then I always have the blue in the front. Push these down. Now, the next of the rows get easier. We're going to start and we're going to put a cap band right here. Color of your cookie of the Pop-Tart. Because let's face it, they are cookies. And we want to put one up here as well. Like that. Then you take your color of your one band, the color of the front of your face, and go ahead and you can just set it there. take your hook, go in through your cap band we'd put on this pin, hook the band that we lay there, pull it through, and loop it towards itself. Now I'll show how to add the sprinkles on. This is the side rows I talked about if you want to add any sprinkles along the real side. This is that band right here we would do that on. So you take and you make a sprinkle band. Band on the hook, wrap it around once, grab both, wrap them around again, and then you would just have to lift up these bands and pull this down. So that's how we add them on this far side. Otherwise, if you're, well, I'm going to use two bands, little space between my sprinkles. Otherwise, you just use these like this. I just throw those in there. Remember, if you add too many, you can always just cut off the sprinkles to accommodate that. So whatever you like for looks when you're done. So again, right here in this long stretch, lay your band on this pin, kind of hold it, go in through your cap band we have on this pin down here, loop it, and pull it back. And we're going to repeat that a lot, so it's not super hard, but just different. Then two bands, cookie color, all the way around the rest. Like that. Then we will go and flip over this row. There are a lot on these corner ones, but just flip them over. So that there's just 4 left when you're done. Now we can kind of loosen this up a little bit. If you take your hook, just kind of hook in there and pull up. So now it's kind of, should grow up better. Now we're going to do another row just like we did. So we start with putting the cap bands on the 2 pins right here. 1 band wrapped around. Like that. Then our first one is just 1 band. Put it on this pin, go in through your cap band, grab that band, and pull it back. Then 2 bands, or sprinkle bands, don't forget your sprinkles. And then once again in the long stretch, just set 1 band on the pin, go in through the cap band, hook it, pull it through, and pull it back. And then the rest are 2 bands of your cookie color. Like so. So then again, flip over the bottom 4. And then it should just be 4 on all of them at this time. Like so. So now we have one more row before we get to the eyes. So when you put your sprinkles on, kind of be aware of that. Like if you put them right above the eyes, you might end up cutting them out or something. So the eyes are going to go right here. So again, I'm going to push these down. Want the cap band on each of the far pins. Like that. Then one band. Go through your cap band, snag it, loop it back. And 2 bands. And then 1 band through the cap band, snag it, pull it back. Then around the back side is 2 bands. Like so. And we'll flip over the bottom 4. Like that. Push them down. And then our next row is going to be our eye row. So you'll want your eye bands. A couple of these. So same thing. Start with that cap band again. Wrap it on the pins. Then come back to here, 1 band, through the cap band, snag it, loop it back. Then we have our eye bands, which will go in the next spots. Like that. And then again, 1 band through this cap band, pull it up and loop it back. And then the rest will be 2 bands of the cookie color. Like that. And loop them over. Like so. You probably could pull this up a little bit more. Just grab a hold. You can start to see. Push them down. Next row is our cheek row. So start with those cap bands first though. I don't know if you can start to see. Here's our nice transition line so nothing is bleeding over into either side. Pretty cool. I'm excited. So get your cap bands on, then one band through the cap band, snag it, loop it. Next to our cheek bands. Then one band through the cap band, snag it, and pull it over. And the rest are cookie. 2. So once you have that, you want to flip over the bottom 4. Like so. Now the mouth band, push them down. I'm going to take a black band or whatever color you want your mouth, put it on your hook, wrap it around once. And then the bands that are right between the cheeks, if you hook them, pull them off the loom, slide your mouth band down, and then replace the bands back on the pin. Without losing one. Like so. Alright, now some more rows. Start with those cap bands. Each pin. So, one band. Pull it through the cap band. Like so. And there's 2 bands under the mouth. So we're right here now. 2 more bands. Then 1 band through the cap band, snag it, and loop it. And then cookie colored 2 all the way around. Like that. And hook over the bottom 4. Like so. Push them down. Cap band. Each of the pins. then our one band. Now we need some more sprinkles. Two bands there, and then one band again up here. Loop it and pull through. And cookie color through the back. Like so. Loop the bottom 4. Push them down. Looking pretty good. Another row. So this will be the last row before we start a transition row. So cap bands. And the single band. And either double bands or the double bands with the sprinkles. Single band. Then the cookie color through the back. Like so. Flip over the bottom 4. Like that. Push it down. Now we're going to do another transition row. So this one's a little bit different. We want those two bands together again like this. So make them on your loom if you need to. They're going to stretch right here. I'm going to center it as best I can. And I want the blue color, or the inside Pop-Tart color, to face towards the inside this time. Because last time we did the cookie color, but this time we want the blue color or the inside of the Pop-Tart. Then take a cap band, put it on this pin right here, one time, then go through here, grab those bands, and loop them back. Like that. Then the next space again will be the two bands put together. With the blue color or the inside frosting color on the back side. And then same thing right here. Like that. And then we're going to do right here in this long stretch the same thing we did right here. So again, 2 bands. Stretch like that. So I have the color on the inside. Cap band. So then you go in through the cap band, grab those bands, pull them up, and loop them back. So if you kind of see what we did there was, we still have our little edge right here on this band, and then here's the behind band that matches the frosting, and then here's the next band that'll match the cookie part down below. Ingenious, isn't it? I'm still excited. So then 2 bands, your cookie color along the back. Like that. Then flip over the bottom 4. Like so. So there's the Pop-Tart. Kind of goofed up adding my sprinkle up too early. Should have been down there a little more. It's still cute. I can always tie some in later. You can also use buttons, pony beads, whatever you like to. So our next rows are just going to be cookie color, 2 bands all the way around. Oops. Like that. Then flip over the bottom 4. And then of course there's going to be more on these pins again, just like the last transition row we did. But just do it so you leave the 4 bands on top. Like that. And then another row. So I'm just pushing everything down. 2 bands all the way around again. like so. Flip over the bottom 4. Alright, so now the part that isn't always the funnest is the closing. So push everything down as far as you can, and what we're going to do is basically weave kind of backwards towards the beginning or towards this end of the loom. I debated whether to flip these over to make it a little bit easier so you're only pulling on one band, but I think that it leaves the right size on both ends if we do them both at the same time. So it's a little bit tighter, it's a little bit tougher, just hang in there. You can always try and close it a different way if you want to. Get it on a latch hook and try and close it, or pull a band through a couple of them just so you have them together, and then you can bring them back up and sew them however you like. But I'm going to stick my hook in through this one point right here. Pull them off the loom, go in through this point over on the left, pull them off, and do a slip knot. Then I'm going to go to the right. Our biggest issue is getting stuck on the pins in the middle, so pull them back, then go to that hook if you need. Pull those off and do a slip knot. You should always have 4 bands on your hook when you're done. Then go on the other side, grab them, pull them through, and back to the other side, pull them through, and over to the left, pull them through, and back to the right, pull them through, and the left, pull them through, and then technically our right pin is back here at the beginning because we moved it earlier. So grab that one. And then our last one, you just get that on the hook. Then you can pull that through. So we have a nice closed bottom. So for this part that's left, I technically should kind of like weave over something, so I'm going to grab these bands that are right next to the end there. And you can find whichever ones you want, but those are the ones I'm grabbing. I'm going to take a couple bands, although you could probably just use one. I'm going to pull it through, make a slip knot, then it kind of looks like, oh, what is that? You just need to pull it inside. So come up next to it, even through that same spot you brought it up, grab your band for your tail and pull it down. And pull it down hard. Obviously you want to use good bands for that. So it looks like that. Tuck this back in. And if you have any, you look at it, you may have to adjust something with the hook, loosen something up if you pulled a little tight on one side or the other. It's not a big deal to adjust things as you need to. So looking at the front, there may be Like, I know that when I was flinging over bands, I could see that I didn't have this one even with the pin in the front, so like I had the blue a little bit more to one side than the other. All I do is just go in there, pull the band the way it's supposed to go. So I want the blue to be back inside. Grab it and pull it. And you may have to kind of look in there to track down where they come from, because it's not always the easiest. But you just have to kind of look in there, and like I could see it comes from right above here. So then I just hit it up there. I got a little tiny piece right there poking out. I'll stick my hook in through the back side, hook it, and pull it the right way. And the same thing up here, got a little bit of a overlap, but just moving the band down hides it good enough for me. So I think it's pretty sweet, because I will show you what happens if you flip it inside out. Now this is not the one I went with because I changed the shape of it, but it is, it's the inside non kind of bumpy side like that. It would look like this. Cute, but not kind of what I wanted, so I think these turned out much better on this side with the Pop-Tart look I wanted. This one kind of reminds me of other things, so we'll use that for something else, but I just kind of wanted to show you that I think that this side is the best side. If you're kind of looking at, you might have to kind of squish them back to one side. Like I noticed sometimes it looked like it was off-center for the cookie part, but you just squish it the right way. But I think they turn out pretty good. I'm still excited about the kind of the transition on the side, because I don't think I've ever seen that anywhere else before, which is always neat to come up with a new technique that is useful. I definitely appreciate you guys watching. If you make these Happy Pop Tarts, I would love to see pictures of them on my Facebook page, which the link is under the video in the description, or on my Instagram, which is at Crafting Fantastic. And of course, you can hashtag these to feelinspiffy happy food so that I can see them there as well. I'm very much trying to get to everything that I see or that is tagged to me, or things like that. It's at times it's definitely overwhelming, the amount of stuff that I would love to respond to, but I just don't either. I don't see it because it goes through my feed so fast, like on Instagram, or I just I don't have the time to get to it within the time that I would like to get to it, you know, within a day or so. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. Definitely had an increase in comments and things like that on YouTube, and I'm trying to get to them as fast as I can. It's really overwhelming at times, the amount, and so at some point I may have to change how I answer them, but hopefully that doesn't happen, because I enjoy being able to speak with everyone and answer questions that people might have. So hopefully we'll work that out, but just know that I am watching, I am looking, I am loving to see all the different color combinations you're doing with the designs that I've showed you. I think it's fantastic, and I really appreciate every one of you guys watching. So keep showing it to me. I'll keep creating to share with you, because that's fun and awesome to do. But here, I'll throw in my little spring onion. I don't know if I showed him, if I put the tutorial for him yet, but there he is, since I put him in there earlier. I don't know if onions and Pop-Tarts go well together, but they're there now. So, but thank you guys very much for watching. I definitely appreciate it, and I will have more tutorials for you soon.